radio station.
There is absolutely no room for fear in sports unless you see that Husky logo on the other side.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man, your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. It is your boy Theo Dorsey. It is a top 5 Tuesday. I couldn't tell you what day it actually is because the computer in front of me is a little crashed out. So instead, I'm going to ask my good guy, Damian Perez, who's on the other side of the glass on the ones and twos. What day is it today?
It is a beautiful Tuesday, the 24th, and we're in March.
24th of March. I appreciate that. And as much as when about 2 minutes before the start of Theoretically Speaking here today, as much as when I tried to click onto this here desktop in front of me, and I realized nothing is coming up but the lovely backdrop of what looks like a very prestigious and private island, but no icons and nothing going on. As much as I had a little fear bubbling up in myself, because I'm like, oh goodness, I use this for digging into my research. I use this for getting things up. I use this to see the restream so I can see the comments on YouTube. Still join us on the YouTube restream there at ESPN South Florida, if you will. But I had a little fear, but at the end of the day, I knew that Dave Geruda is here and he'd be able to help me out, which he's actually kind of doing. So if you are watching us on the YouTube stream, you'll see him actively figuring out why it is the desktop isn't working. Fear is okay when you're just a sports talk radio host and you know nothing about IT and you can stand behind the mic. Fear is everything. It is everything. If that's what you're feeling going into a matchup, and Damian, I know there probably weren't a lot of eyes on it, and rightfully so because it was not a close contest. But last night, the Syracuse Orange and the UConn women's basketball teams, they shared a basketball court together, but only one of them really showed up when it came to putting up points. 98 to 53, I believe it's scoring. No, 98 to 45. Was the final score in that one as UConn absolutely obliterated the Orange. And what I gained from that was not just one of the most lopsided victories in the history of the sport. It was not just the prolific scoring nature of AZ Bud, who is a star in her own right, is likely a number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. Simply, Damian, I looked at that. And even as my Miami Heat were getting dominated by that alien from France and Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs, I look at that UConn women's team and I said, man, that's the most feared team in all of sports. I don't care the gender. I don't care what kind of what kind of platform you're playing on. When you line up against them girls, you feel like you ain't got no chance.
Yeah, it's one of those dynasties that I don't feel like gets spoken of enough. And it's wild because in an era where things kind of balanced out throughout the landscape of college basketball, both in men's and women, they've survived the NIL era. So it's wild. Last night was a clear performance of why UConn is the best team in women's college basketball. And safe to say, that's probably not going to change anytime soon.
It ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere at all. When I was a kid, I was always told, kind of, you heard about the dynasties of college basketball, like John Wooden's UCLA teams. You heard about what Red Auerbach was able to do with the Boston Celtics in the 60s and whatnot. And a lot of that had to do with the lack of parity because of the lack of competition. There was a competitive imbalance. The NBA had fewer teams. There were reasons why those teams had a stranglehold over their sport for a short period of time. But that was the difference. Those were short periods of time. If you asked me as a 15-year-old, I would have told you definitively. I would have said, yeah. No, I mean, this is fun right now. Gino's having his fun as the coach of this squad, but, give it about 10 years or so. The game is growing. More women are picking up a basketball across the nation, across the globe as we speak. It is a global game. Things will change eventually. I wake up in 2026, and Damian, it's the same thing. By the way, record time there. Dave Geruda, our ops guy, literally has already fixed the computer. He's got ESPN.com up. I can resource and give you guys real stats and facts and not have to go off of my recollection. So shout to him. He's already the MVP of today. before we even hit 5 minutes into the show. That was incredible, Dave. That was incredible. They could have used, the Syracuse Orange could have used a guy like my guy Dave DeRuta, last night. But more so, what they could have used, if you ask their head coach, and this is why I say most feared, I don't think dominant does justice what UConn women's basketball has been since 1995. They're literally on 32 straight Sweet 16 appearances. This year is the 10th time the Lady Huskies have gone into the Sweet 16 unblemished. The 10th time in that program's history, they have entered the Sweet 16 with 0 losses on their record through the regular season and through the conference tournament and the first couple of games of the NCAA tournament. That's impressive. It is also their 52nd straight victory dating back to last season when they won the national championship. And Damian, the crazy thing about that, you think 52 straight victories is amazing. Like that's one for every week in a year. That is way too many victories to have in a row in a competitive sport. It ain't even close to what they historically have been able to do in the past. They have a winning streak of 80 or more games. They got another separate winning streak of 111 games in a row. This is unprecedented dominance. And when you strike the fear in your opponents with that level of dominance, you hear things like what we heard after UConn v. Syracuse. Because if I am a Lady Orange, I guess you would say, if I played for Syracuse women's basketball today, I know I would be a little bit disheartened. But more so than that, I would feel flattened when I heard about how we respond at the mic. Not her fault, but Felicia Leggett-Jack letting the good people know, I wish we weren't even there last night.
After being in this business for 37 years and to have to come and be in this particular bracket every freaking year is unacceptable. It's wrong. It's somebody. And if you're on the committee and you've been around for more than a year or 2 or 5 to 10 or 15 years, you understand what that looks like. I've been on those committees to see how it's done, how you can put people on different lines, put us on a 10 line, get whatever. But for us to continue to come to Connecticut year after year after year is, to me, it's a personal attack.
To call it a personal attack, not what UConn did against them on the court last night, but now literally pointing aim at the selection committee that does make these matchups in women's basketball, and she alluded to it, but if you're not familiar with how the women's tournament goes, they played in Storrs, Connecticut. They played at UConn's home gym because UConn was a 1 seed. They play those super regionals in the women's bracket at their home arena so you can drive up crowd attendance because clearly that's going to help the Gates. That's going to help promote the game in general. You want that environment. But compounding on the fact that you're going up against a team that has been the most feared team in all of sports for the last 3 decades is the fact you got to play them in front of their home crowd, and you got to look up into the rafters and see Final Four, national championship, perfect season. And then you look across the way and you're like, oh, yeah, and also a bunch of McDonald's All-Americans. We don't have a chance. Damian, how is that? This is the most feared team in sports. And I don't think that there's even a close second based on not just what we saw last night, but what I've seen for my entire life.
Yeah, 36-0 in the regular season, undefeated in the postseason as well. You mentioned it. You got coaches from opposing teams begging the committee, please don't pair me up with UConn.
Just save us.
You've never seen that before in any other sports. It takes a lot of pride to, go up there and say that in a press conference too. But we didn't even get to the number 1 picks that they pushed out to the WNBA too.
That's the thing. It's like you can make a football roster full of WNBA products that UConn has pushed out under Gino Auriemma. Like you can that's how many they have. You know how they have 52 straight wins? I don't know what the number is. I guarantee you it's more than 52 WNBA players that the Lady Huskies have pumped out, and many a times they're the best player in the nation. AZ Fudd is going to be the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. Stewie, just last year.
Paige Beckers.
a couple of years back. Diana Taurasi from years and years ago. Maya Moore, like year after year after year, generation after generation, the generational talents in women's sports came through those same halls. I think about guys like we got the news, and we'll talk about it later in the show, that Tiger Woods is going to be returning to action tonight at TGL. I'll be in the house as well, by the way, at SoFi Center. Tiger Woods back for the Jupiter Lynx. They're playing the LA Golf Club. They got their backs against the wall. But the other thing they do have, they're going to have Tiger Woods in an elimination match with a red polo on. When I think about most feared athletes or teams in the history of sports, Tiger in the red when it's winning time.
Iconic.
That is, it don't get no better than that. So that's going to be fun to watch in person tonight. But again, I go back to even as much fear that Tiger struck in the heart of other golfers when they couldn't even necessarily compete against them. Golf is you versus the course. Golf is you versus your own mind. Golf should not be you versus Tiger. He kind of made it that because of his presence in that sport. When you play UConn, look at what happened last night. I told you the final score at halftime, Damian. It was the most lopsided first half in the history of the tournament, 65-12.
And not just that game. I mean, you scroll through all their games that they've played this season, 30 points, 40-point wins. It's like dominance at its finest.
I will say this. I'm going with the UConn women's basketball team. I will leave it up to the good people if they have any kind of suggestion as to any other more feared team. I'm not talking dominant. I'm not talking just greatness. I'm talking about most feared teams in the history of sports. Since I've been alive, has been the UConn women's basketball team, and that reared its ugly head for the Syracuse Orange last night. Let us know, though, on the Baptist Health Hotline, your most feared team in sport. You probably, there's some Dolphins fans that say, man, any team that's wearing the away jerseys at Hard Rock Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Is that how you feel, Damian, as a Dolphins fan? No disrespect.
I don't agree nor disagree. Plead the fifth on that one.
Hit us on the Baptist Health Hotline. Most feared team in sports. Past or present. And most likely, there's one current team that I would maybe consider, but most likely I don't think they're going to have a better suggestion than the women's basketball team out of UConn. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotlines. Welcome to pro-level orthopedic care at Baptist Health. From sports injuries to everyday aches, our expert team delivers the same advanced care trusted by the pros. So do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Especially if you are an athlete, amateur, but an athlete. You like to get around, do a little pickleball, play a little soccer, a little padel. What else are people doing these days? Wall ball, whatever it is. Joint pain, back pain, any of those things aggravating you. I want you to get back to the life and the activities that you love. Learn more at baptisthealth.net/ortho. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Throughout today's show, we're taking your calls on most feared teams in sports. And for me, it's got to be the UConn women's basketball team. And that is why you can get honest and open. And I want people to understand this. Nowhere in here am I discrediting or trying to disrespect Felicia, who leads that Syracuse program. Last year they had a losing record. This year, 24-win team. She's right when she says, why the hell are we playing at UConn? They could have probably made the Sweet 16, even the Elite Eight, given a different region, different bracket. But they keep year over year going back to having to play against UConn because of regionality, because of the way that they've structured this tournament. And it probably ain't fair. But this has nothing to do with the Orange and nothing to do with what she said behind that mic. It has everything to do with the fear that team elicits specifically on their own home court. That's the story of what happened last night in the women's tournament. You ain't getting those kind of lopsided games in the men's tournament. I actually enjoy a little bit of dominance, man. It's pretty fun, except when it happens at the expense of our Miami Heat, Damien. That was tough.
And that's the thing. This is not like the first year or even the second or even the third year that UConn has had this dominance. This is something that's been carried over for probably the last decade. So, yeah. It's like, what do we do at this point if you're an opposing team?
You beg for another bracket. You beg for another. That's
the point it's gotten to, for sure.
You know what you don't do if you're a team facing UConn? I need everybody. I need every single person to please join the YouTube stream right now at ESPN South Florida. At ESPN South Florida, because I saw something last night. What Felicia Legette-Jack said, not a fireable offense. It doesn't really offend me, even as a person that is, uber competitive. She's being honest. It's not right. It's not fair. It feels unfair having to face that team year over year at their home gym. What I saw from somebody else with the Orange program, I would say it borders on you know what? It is a fireable offense. I, perusing Instagram after the game, stumbled upon a video, Damian. And again, join our YouTube chat at ESPN South Florida so you can see the video for yourself. This video was of the UConn Huskies mascot and the Syracuse Orange mascot interacting with one another. That's fine. To me, that's fine. All is fair in sports. All is love between mascots and cheerleaders. I like to see a little camaraderie. Mind you, this video that you're going to look at right here is after the game. And Otto the Orange, put it up there, Damien, if you can get it. Is it up there? I can't see it right now, Monster.
Rolling.
Otto the Orange. And I don't know what the UConn women's basketball mascot is named, but she was dribbling Otto like a basketball on the court. Otto is bouncing on his toes, crouched down like a toddler, while the UConn women's basketball mascot is standing over Otto and dribbling it.
And simultaneously, I mean, this is probably right after the game.
Yes.
Simultaneously, you got the Syracuse head coach begging the committee, please, please get me out of this bracket.
This is the single most embarrassing thing I've seen in college sports. I watched from that same program, I watched the head coach say he don't take showers after losses.
And it gets worse. This was posted by Syracuse,
Yeah.
not UConn. This is on Syracuse's social media.
There are a lot of proud Syracuse alumnus that listen to this show, good people that follow this show, good people in general, all around the nation that are proud alumnus of Syracuse. The Orange, they're big in broadcast, specifically sports broadcast. I want to know how you feel about your team getting absolutely dominated on the floor by 53 points, and afterwards, your mascot is doing tricks on it. Afterwards, your mascot is bouncing around, high-fiving, getting this is embarrassing. If I'm watching this from the court, if I'm on the sidelines and I see this as we just got drubbed and as my coach is at the podium literally pouring her heart out about why this isn't fair that we have to play this team, and you got this big goofy smile on your face getting dribbled around.
It's like, read the room, man. Mascot. You got to read the room.
That's disrespectful. That is I am appalled. I literally had to do, I thought it was a deep fake. I thought it was AI. I was like, well, maybe this happened a year ago and they were just posting it. No, Otto the Orange from Syracuse posted a video of itself being dribbled like a basketball by the UConn Huskies mascot. Mind you, it was following a historic loss. Absolutely derailing. I don't want to hear, if you from Syracuse now, you better not bark at me. You better not raise your voice at me. I don't hear any of them. I see a lot. I know a lot of them. They're all in the sports broadcasting industry. You talk low. You whisper at me because you lost a lot. Humiliation is the only way I could define that. But that's what happens when you go up against programs that are as feared as the UConn Women Huskies. Man, we got a packed show today. We got. This is big actually, Damien. I told you this morning. I've been knowing it here for a while. We have a person who literally won a state championship in high school football, a national championship in college football, and a Super Bowl joining us on the other side. And better than all of that, too, he's a local legend. So stick around for that. That is Damian Perez. I'm Theo Dorsey. We are Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Okay.
To 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
We also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2026 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2026 Defender 110 P300S for just $899 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tech
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
To create fear is to obliterate optimism. And that is exactly what I saw the UConn women's basketball team do last night. The Syracuse coach, she literally said at 2:30 in the afternoon, before the game tipped off, around shoot-around, she could tell that they had no shot that night. And, self-fulfilling prophecy. It's not her fault. She told you who to blame in that case. But I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't even the selection committee's fault. It's the UConn women's basketball team being the most feared team in sports, really, since I've been born. It is your boy Theo Dorsey at the Top 5 Tuesday. We are here on Theoretically Speaking. Damian Perez on the other side of the glass on the ones and twos. And we have a special guest joining us right here in this segment. He is none other than Deontay Thompson in the dang house. You have been a super busy man. You don't live here anymore, but former Florida Gator, former Glade Central Raider, and many teams in the NFL here. And speaking of fear, I'm pretty sure them corners had fear lining up against you, knowing just how much of a blazer you were in your day. Any of that speed still lingering over? You still got it right now?
I hope so.
You don't test it out every now and then?
No, I mean, of course, that's God given. It should still be there. But, getting a little older, so it's not as blazing as it was. But I hold my own still.
I always have to do this with people who are former, former participants in what we like to call the greatest rivalry in all of high school sports, and that is the Muck Bowl. And I want you to be honest with you. Come clean to me. Your memory might be fogged up. What was your Muck Bowl record your 4 years at Glade Central?
I won every year besides my senior year, man. My senior year, the only time I lost to Pokey. So
I heard that was a controversial one.
It's controversial. They took a few touchdowns from us. My guy Trav had a few. Well, they took one of his tubs back, and we had some calls that didn't go our way. We still argue about that to this day.
Yeah, one of the fun facts I like about you is you're one of the few that have won state championships, high school, college, and then, of course, you win the Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens in the NFL. That has to come up often when you're speaking to people, when you're talking like how many rings do you actually have in total between high school, college, pros? At the three, you had multiple in high school?
Yeah. I mean, every ring?
Yeah. I mean, too many to count.
I got 3 from track in high school, 1 for football, so that's 4. Oof. I got a BCS ring, a national championship ring, an SEC championship ring, an Outback Bowl ring, and then a Super Bowl ring.
You get up there, almost got the 10 digits right
yeah,
there,
I got
man.
a few of them, man.
Almost ran out of place to put them.
Yes, sir.
Deontay Thompson joining us here, man. We're fresh off of seeing Jackson Smith and Jigba sign the richest wide receiver deal in the history of the league with the Seattle Seahawks. We are gearing up for pro days across the country. Your Florida Gators got a pro day coming up as well in a couple days here. And I know that as you are now working with V2, you're head of football with V2, I know part of what you're doing is working with some of these kids who actually get to ink some of these lucrative deals, even in high school and in college. before the pros. If you were going back in your shoes as a Glade Central Raider,
Okay.
and NIL was around in your day when you was out there kicking it in the muck,
Yeah.
what would that have changed at all your prioritization or where you went for college football? If an NIL deal was available, would you have jump ship to another program, or you always wanted to be a Gator?
Well, I grew up a Gator fan. I always wanted to be a Gator. That is true. From Fred Taylor and all those guys, they's from Belgrade, and I watched those guys play at Florida. So I always had a love for Florida. But would I have went there if NIL was available? I don't know.
It depends.
It depends because they throwing out numbers that are crazy. So of course, you in that market is not so much of what school you want to play for. It's like, man, what's giving me the best to enhance my life, as far as revenue or whatever. So I don't know where I would go, but definitely would be the NIL will have a big effect on where I go at.
It'll play into it.
It definitely will play into it.
It'll play into it. That's the world that you kind of work in right now, right? With V2. You don't live in Palm Beach County anymore, but you do work with some athletes from here and around here. What exactly are you doing as head of football, and what is V2 doing around here?
Oh, man, what we're doing is really main thing we believe in is players first and development.
Yeah.
So our whole thing is developing these guys, right? A lot of these guys are, like you just brought up, they're chasing NIL and offers. You know what I'm saying? That's all they chasing. That's what they want. Our goal is, man, let's develop, right? Focus on you, your development. And if you do everything right that you're supposed to do, all that stuff come to you. That comes with the territory, but you need to develop. So our main thing is develop, putting these guys around guys to help them develop, not only just on the field, but off the field, financially, family. We like a family service to these kids. We want to bring the whole team around them.
Yeah, making them well-rounded. And well-rounded is a great word and a great thing to use for this, because there are well-rounded programs out there that also welcome kids in. They can't touch all the bases that you feel like y'all can touch. And you come from a school that I guess it used to be well-rounded. Now it's a basketball school, the Florida Gators. Yeah. Y'all had it.
Hey,
yeah.
That's the first time I heard that one too. That's a football powerhouse.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, man. Lately, the basketball team been showing up, bro.
Yeah. But Summerall, the hire, when you heard of him, have you got a chance to meet him? What do you think about the Gators going forward now as y'all try this new regime? Because Miami is on top. Florida State, right now, they ain't really got much to offer. But, a lot of people are excited about John Summerall.
Nah, I'm very excited about this year. Watching the coach come in, the energy that he had, it remind me of Urban first year. A guy that knows what he wants, believe in hard work, believe in development. He says all the right things, man. I'm excited. I get to meet him at the spring game this year coming up in a couple of weeks. I'll be up there that weekend, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I think we're going to surprise a few people this year.
Yeah, well, you surprised a couple people last couple of years.
Yeah.
For the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reason. For the right reason this time, though, Theo. The right reason.
I'm like, look, Deontay Thompson told me, I'm like, your Gators have been very surprising.
Yeah.
I was surprised, as a Canes fan, I was surprised a couple of years how easy it was in the swamp for Cam Ward and my guys. That's a different story.
Right.
Well, you talked about how he reminds you of Urban, and you obviously experienced those days. You won a championship with the Gators.
Yeah.
You played with a lot of some of the great athletes of the time that went through the swamp. What was Urban like? How did he galvanize that bunch to be one of the – because today we're talking about most feared programs in sports. For a little short time there, for that window for sure, the Gators would have been in that conversation.
Yeah, we definitely. I think we still in the conversation. 2008,
Okay, yeah, all
2008,
time,
2009, all the time. We should be in that conversation. But no, Herb did a great job of keeping the guys together. One thing Herb always preaches: team, and the plan is infallible. Yeah, that was his quote. It's infallible. If you follow and do what I say, you will be successful. You will get a chance to play in the league. You will have a great life. And that's what he used to promise us. So he did a great job of keeping us together, team. Of course, we had a lot of ups and downs, but the unity and the things that we shared, the hard work that we put in brought us closer. So it went wild because, the off seasons are some of the hardest thing I ever did in my life at University of Florida. It was tough. But that stuff brought us closer together, going through triumph and going through things. Adversity make you stronger. So
do you you talked about that off season. That feels like the one connective tissue between college football programs across the nation is the one that succeed at the highest level. You talk about how the off seasons and the practices are tougher than the games. I actually, oddly enough, I didn't experience any of what y'all went through.
Yeah.
I was recently at this gym working out in Boca, and I was training doing this little class workout and was with one of your former teammates. I want to see if you can guess which one from those Florida Gators because I lined up behind this dude. I didn't know who he was at this point.
Yeah.
Group class outside. We're going through all of these like circuit drills, right? And he's massive. He's in shape. I could tell he probably is a former athlete. I didn't know at what level at this point. Big smile on his face, like this effervescence, this joy just glowing from him. And I'll never forget when we first started this thing, I'm like, this dude's big. He's a big-time guy. He's an athlete. Yeah. I ain't going to let him outwork me, though.
Yeah.
About two of them little drills in, I'm panting. I'm got my hands on my knees. I'm sweating. I'm crying for water. Yeah. And he got the same, it felt like almost, it was intimidating. Smile and joy. He's encouraging me. He's running through the things at a high level. Dude was, he pushed the pace in a way in which I never could imagine. Yeah. And at the end of it, I ended up buying his book because I was like, I didn't realize who he was. Do you want to guess which one of these guys? He's from South Florida, too. Former Gator. Maniac is a maniac through training. Known for his hit power as well.
Major Wright.
Major Wright.
You know that was my roommate.
That was your roommate at school?
Yeah, we came in together. That's one of my good friends. That's my guy.
I knew y'all
good
lined
D's.
up.
You got the Good D's book? Which one you get?
No, I got the Major Pain.
Oh, Major
because that's what I went through in that workout.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's my guy.
What was he like? Man, I know what he was like through that workout, but you trained with him, you roomed him, and I didn't even know that. Yeah. And played with him at the Gators. What was that bond like as two South Florida brothers out there in Gainesville?
Well, we went together. So me and Major met at our visit at Ohio State. Oh. And when we met there, we was like, man, we're going to the same school. So throughout the whole recruiting process, we went to the All-American game, and we always was in contact. I went down to the party in high school, and then we ended up going to Florida together. We roommate the first semester together. And man, Major is what you see, what you get. High energy guy. He's everything that he advertised to be. Great man, great father, great dude. Man, it's one of my brothers.
When you think back to some of those great teammates that you've had, the high school, college, or pro, because you've played with a lot of you know, like you could write. You should be writing these books, and we could read about the tales you got.
Facts.
Who are some of those guys that stand out that don't get talked about enough in current day landscape on shows like this?
Okay, well, you mean just like guys that made impacts on teams, just guys,
just great dudes that you're similar to Major Wright. How you talked so well about how he was as a person, we knew what he was as a player. Who are some of those guys you feel like that also probably inspired you a bit, pushed you a bit to be better? Some teammates that don't go talked about enough.
College or pros?
Let's go college. Let's go Gators.
Okay, man, Brandon James for one. That's at the top of my mind. Brandon James.
Yeah,
he's definitely one of those guys that. Great guy, man. Great teammate. Team first kind of guy. Lewis Murphy, man. Man, we had a good group.
Had a lot of dudes. A lot of dudes in the swamp, man.
We had a lot of dudes, man, in a close-knit group. So, yeah, just to name a few, I could just name them all the time. But all my guys, man, really, I don't want to leave nobody out. The whole team.
The whole squad.
Florida team.
The whole squad.
I want to leave nobody out.
And let's go back then to your Palm Beach County days. Again, talking to Deontay Thompson here on Theoretically Speaking. Former Gator, former Super Bowl champion with the Ravens in the NFL, but a former Glade Central Raider where your playing day started. When you remember playing high school ball out here, competitive as all get up, who was the most dominant, the most feared athlete in football through your 4 years, outside of yourself?
Yeah, I was about to say me.
Yeah, I was about to say I saw him gearing up. I saw him licking his chops there. You know what I'm saying? But who outside of Deontay Thompson, who was the most feared in your 4 years playing high school ball out here?
The most feared.
It could be a Raider as well if you want to just go with one of your team. You don't want to admit that you feared anybody you lined up against.
We was them guys. I mean, like literally when people had Glade Central on their schedule, that was a fear.
Yeah.
At that time, I mean, we didn't even lose regular season games or anything, like for years. I won the district every year I was in high school. Like we dominated. So I don't think we feared anyone. I don't think no one in my area, we was the guys to fear. They feared us.
Who were some of those guys on those Glade Central teams?
Oh, my team. So man, we had me, myself, Travis Benjamin, Damian Berry. All these guys are pros.
Yeah.
Ernest McCord, Jatavius Jackson, man. Bryant Man was the quarterback. Man, we had some studs.
We had some dogs out there in the Glades, man.
We had some dogs, man. It was, but that team too was a close knit team, man. We faced some adversity early, especially losing the Muck Bowl. Probably one of the best thing. Wasn't the best thing happened to that team, because after that we became even closer, and then we went on a 6-game winning streak, and the rest is history. We state champions. So.
What's it going to take to get that kind of glory back out there between Pahokee and Glade Central? Because right now y'all got a couple of leaders out there that have been doing it.
Yeah.
And the program has been on an uptick. You got Omar Hogbook, who's an alumnus.
That was my quarterback my freshman year. He threw me my first touchdown in high school.
Really?
Yeah, he threw my first touchdown my freshman year.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, he's a former coach of the year in the area now. At this point, he's doing his thing. What was the play call there from Coach O to you back in what?
Back in the day, we was playing. I
04?
remember that as my first time. It was against Fort Pierre Westwood. I had a seam down the middle, and I thought I had a clear out route. He threw the ball. I caught it and scored. I was jumping up and down. It's on my highlight tape. So I was jumping up and down like a kid. I was 14 years old playing with grown men. So it was an experience.
That's incredible. You never forget that first tutty.
Yeah.
And you, it had to be. You probably had this expectation also of winning, going from Glade Central to then the Florida Gators, and then as soon as you touch foot in the league, instantly Super Bowl.
Instantly. And that whole thing was just, being able to play with guys like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, coming into a veteran team as a rookie, getting to see how veteran move also helped me prolong my career. Seeing how, Ray Lewis take care of his body, seeing Ed Reed, stand after and all the things these guys was doing. I took notes and adjusted and put it in my things that I'm gonna start doing, and it works. It works.
Well, you know what? For all of you Florida Gators out there, just remember, you heard it from Deontay Thompson. It's influential over here.
No.
Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. You see who he called out? I love it. Yeah.
That's a good one.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, when you in Super Bowls with them brothers, it's more than that. But you, all right, harder hitter though, Ed Reed or Major Wright. Have you taken a hit from either of them at practice?
Yeah, Ed was in the later years, but I'm pretty sure I can't take that. I mean, Ed's Hall of Famer, so Ed is Ed. But I seen Major live young. I remember our first practice and training camp. We on campus.
Yeah.
He hit Chris Rainey on a hit. That's probably one of the hardest hits I've ever seen in my life. Major brain the pain. Major brain the pain.
He ain't playing.
He ain't playing.
Yeah, he ain't playing. He never got you like that. He never.
He never catch me slipping.
Yeah, you knew better.
I do, but you got to. It's hard to catch what you can't. It's hard to hit what you can't catch, man. So
yeah. That's the motto there. That's the motto. To do that. Deontay Thompson, man, I appreciate you pulling up on us, man. I know you aren't in town for long, so I'm glad you made some time here on Theoretically Speaking. Sure. And good luck to them Gators. But my Canes this year, I'm feeling good again.
Hey, we've been spanking y'all every time we catch y'all. Just won for the first time in how many years?
What have you done for me
lately? How long has it been?
What have you done for me lately? You over here bringing up old stuff.
Guess what though? I got something for you.
Yeah.
I never lost against the Canes though.
Undefeated against the Canes?
Undefeated.
Who was playing back then? That's the reason. That was, you caught them in the years where they took all the scholarships away and stuff.
No, y'all had Brandon. You had Ja'Cory Harris.
Y'all
had a squad.
You're right. Okay.
Y'all had Randy Phillips and all them guys on the team from Belgrade. Yeah.
Dang,
Travis on the
Randy.
team.
I'm over here. Travis, that was your teammate.
That was my teammate.
So you did catch us in some years where we should have been more competitive.
Yeah, I caught y'all.
Dang.
I put belt to butt,
Yeah,
belt to butt on y'all before.
You know what? I'm about to tell you, big homies, Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, that you
don't do it to
me. Deontay, man, I appreciate the time, man. Appreciate you pulling up on us, and we'll stay locked in through the college football season. Sure. I'll be sending you a meme when the Canes get them Gators again.
I can't wait. And you best believe I'll be sending you one too.
It's gonna be Michael Irvin on you. I'm gonna get you.
No, thanks, man. Really, thank you. Appreciate for having me on the show, man. I appreciate it, Theo.
That is Deontay Thompson, a state champ, national champion, Super Bowl champion. That's Damian Perez. I'm your boy Theo Dorsey. We are Theoretically Speaking on the Top 5 Tuesday on ESPN 106.3.
Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
At HSS, movement is their specialty. Their team of experts provide personalized treatment options backed by over 160 years of orthopedic expertise. Whether you need advanced non-surgical solutions, surgical care, or comprehensive rehabilitation, HSS Florida delivers the exceptional quality care you expect from HSS, the nation's #1 in orthopedics. With 3 locations in West Palm Beach, Wellington, and now Jupiter, expert care has never been closer to home. Choose better, move better. Learn more at hss.edu/Florida.
In an AI-driven world, power up your future with in-demand trade skills at Palm Beach State College. Attend a free hands-on electrical info session and discover careers in electrical and low-voltage technology. Explore real-world training employers need right now, from installing smart home systems to repairing modern electrical equipment. Be job-ready in a year or less. Financial aid is available for those who qualify. Visit pbsc.edu and search info to learn more.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2026 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2026 Defender 110 P300S for just $899 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
This is ESPN 106.3's Mike Rizzo. Recently, I had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Michael Stark, a spine surgeon in the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. When it comes to spine injuries, Dr. Stark says there can be a misconception.
It's broad. Everyone thinks back would just be pain, but that's not always the case. In the spine is all your nerves, your spinal cord and your nerves that come out into the lumbar spine. Problems that you can see with those aren't just pain necessarily. Those are the more obvious, but you can see numbness. Patients can come in without pain, but they may have weakness in their leg or in their arm, and that may be from a pinched nerve that's higher up in the spine somewhere. So those are usually more alarm type symptoms where I would say you need to get evaluated, but it could also be something simple like a muscle strain or pull where it would end up with back pain or tightness that could result in symptoms prompting care.
That's Dr. Michael Stark with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362 or go online to pbhnphysiciangroup.com.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a warehouse operations manager.
Where are the forklifts?
Sold them. Too expensive. We're using scooters now.
So you expect us to move a 2-ton pallet on a scooter?
Just lean into it. Put your back into it, people.
This is your job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
It's about time delivery worked on your schedule. Same day, next day, or scheduled in advance. However you plan it, the Home Depot delivers the whole job. From drywall to doors, plumbing to paint, we'll get it there when you need it. Because on the job site, timing is everything. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
That's the buzzer. And on Hard Rock Bet, buzzer beaters mean bonus bets. Every time a team you bet to win or cover hits a game-winning buzzer beater, you score a $25 bonus bet. An extra $25 on top of your winnings. Just opt in and bet $5 on any team. As many teams as you want, all tourney. Win bonus bets at the buzzer. Only on Hard Rock Bet.
Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling?
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Hey, Culligan man!
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I got a little nervous when I criticized Deontay's Gators because, you know, at the end of the day, he might not still have the same speed that he had at Florida, but he still is very much so still in shape. And, you know what I'm saying, he had the polo on his biceps, you know, bulging out the polo. I didn't want any issues. But I did have to claim the greatness of my Miami Hurricanes. It wouldn't be me if I didn't do that. But
Hey, Culligan
as
man!
I did it, I did get a little, you know how when you get nervous, your throat get a little dry, get a little parched? Need some refreshment? Start thinking about that Culligan water. Culligan water it's refreshing. It's good for you. It's healthy. And also, people think of Culligan, they're like, oh, water bottles? Yeah, you can get it as bottled water, but you can also have Culligan water at home. And all you got to do is get the free water test, Culligan.com, have them pull up to your crib, and it's simple. Tim did it for me. Tim comes to the door. He opens the door. He was very polite, put the little booties on his feet, the little things so that way you're not tracking inside the house. Walks right over to the sink, and within minutes, he got a sample of my water, told me what was in it, told me what was harmful, showed me how Florida has some of the worst water in all of the nation, and then he gave me the solution, right? You don't want to just give people the issues, the problems, and not come with the solution. He gave me the solution, and that was the water systems that Culligan offers, the water softener and the reverse osmosis system. You can get some as well. In fact, right now they got a deal, 12 months interest-free. 12 months interest-free. That's a long time to be able to pay off getting healthier, happier water that can make your life more comfortable. Culligan.com. Schedule your free water test today. Culligan water. Water you love. Theoretically speaking, it's the Top 5 Tuesday. Later on, Tina's going to join us to give us her Top 5 list. Tina's Top 5. Damian Perez is in with me now. And I got to do this because I'm the kind of guy that I got hung up on the UConn women's basketball thing because they are the most feared team in sports right now. We embraced my guy Deontay Thompson, talked some football, talked about the days and the Glades and the rivalry between Pahokee and Glades Central. Fun stories and stuff. There's a lot of stories in and around sports today, and Damian, the only way we know how to get from city to city, place to place is to get around. It is our transit system. This is how we get. This is, you know how your boy got a PJ, you know what I'm saying? Y'all flying private. I hop on the get around. That's what I do. And we're going to start off
in Jupiter, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Where Tiger Woods is back, set
Backyard.
to make his return in the TGL final, and it doesn't get more dramatic than this. His Jupiter Lynx in a win or go home matchup, backs against the wall. Anytime Tiger tees up, it's different. The energy, the eyeballs, the stakes. Golf just hits another level when he's involved. So how big is this return for the sport right now? And hold on, let's take it a step further. If he does look good tonight, is there a chance we can see Tiger Woods at Augusta?
Of course. Like, this is the ramp-up plan that Tiger he wants people to witness because that'll get the eyes on the TV screen tonight. But he also, because he's a competitor, would love to have. But I will caution you all. While we are getting Tiger Woods tonight, and I'll be in the house at the SoFi Center as the Jupiter Lynx take on the LA Golf Club, and Tiger is he's in that anchor position for his team. I'm curious if this is the last time we get, like, quote unquote Sunday Red Tiger, where he's in contention at the highest level. Like, this isn't just a random TGL night, good people. This is the TGL Finals. The SoFi Cup is on the line tonight. The Jupiter Lynx have to win at 7, and then they would have to win again at 9. It's a best of 3. and they are down 0-1. So Tiger is coming back in a pinch, and he has not played all season long. If you miss the days of watching Tiger Woods in the dramatic Sundays of majors, whether it's Torrey Pines, Augusta National Golf Club, if you miss those days, you're going to want to tap in tonight on ESPN. I'll be there in the building. It is going to be history. Whether it goes right or wrong, I'm going to try to take in every moment, because how many more of these do we have? His body has been breaking down, but he's putting it on the line tonight because his team needs him. And that's what I love about what Tiger Woods is doing, what TGL is providing. And I will say, though, Damian, him being able to play TGL tonight, a little different when you got to actually be out there in the elements doing it and walking the course and in practice round, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's a little bit different, strain on the body, but at the very least, we'll see what the swing looks like tonight.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I mean, it's Tiger Woods. You still got to be in attendance. You're in the presence of greatness whenever he's swinging the club. So go ahead and make it out to TGL.
Yeah, me too. When I'm swinging the clubs, presence of greatness.
Now we're headed to Texas, San Antonio to be exact, where Victor Wembanyama is not lacking any confidence. At a press conference last night, Wemby basically made his own MVP case, saying he impacts game on both ends at a high level, offense and defense, and even took a couple subtle shots at another MVP candidate along the way. Does Wemby actually have a legit shot at winning the MVP this season?
He doesn't, because SGA is going to get it. But what I will say is, in every sense of the word, Victor Wembanyama is the most valuable player in the NBA. Like, the San Antonio Spurs are possibly, maybe even likely, en route to their first 60-win season since, the big fundamental was sporting that jersey. And that has everything to do with the play of Wembanyama. He put up a stat line last night against our Miami Heat. It's ridiculous. 26 points, 15 boards, 5 blocks. He's had a stat line similar to that 10 times this year. That's just as many as everybody else in the NBA combined has done this season. The dude is a walking, am I looking at the right thing? When you look at a box score, he's a walking that, the numbers he put up look like NBA 2K26 my career box scores. It ain't fair.
He's literally a creative player.
You see the block that he had on Norm Powell when Norm tried to use the rim as a screener and kind of hit the up and under?
It's crazy. People will go up for a layup thinking nobody is behind them, and then out of nowhere, it's just this long arm of Wembanyama. Boom, snatched.
He's trouble, man. Watch out, NBA. Watch out, NBA. Just like the Spurs did under Pop year after year after year with Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and all that. They're going to be rallying off 60-win seasons year over year, and it's because Victor Wembanyama is the most valuable player in the NBA. He might not get his flowers this year. I looked at the odds, and to be honest with you, sometimes we just get these things wrong. Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson, that was wrong. I looked at the odds. Shea is like an overwhelming odds-on favorite right now, so it's not happening. But Wembanyama definitely deserves to at least be better than plus 1,100 right now. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Let's go to Arkansas, because we've got a March Madness breakout story that's turning into something even bigger.
Yeah.
Darius Acuff Jr. bursting onto the scene in this year's bracket and now making history off the court as well. The 19-year-old has landed a signature shoe deal with Reebok, becoming the first NCAA men's player to get with a major U.S. brand while still in college.
Yeah.
That's not NIL money. That's superstar treatment. Is he primed to be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft?
He is, man. And I love the fact that he's going with Reebok, because I think he can have an Allen Iverson-esque flair in the NBA. He's going, I don't think enough people have watched him. I mean, again, let's not forget, too, he's not just a great freshman point guard who's killing it in the SEC, averaging, 23 points, 6 assists, shooting just under 50% from the field. He's also a John Calipari guard. Those tend to work out. Those are, they don't just tend to work out. Those tend to be future Hall of Famers, the way we look at it. So Darius Acuff Jr. is a sure bet by Reebok. Him partnering with them is a good get for them. They got him early because they know if they wait, they likely, or if you wait, you're late with a dude like Acuff Jr. So they got him while he's hot. He has a chance to still go on a run. I'd love to see this guy get all the way to the Final Four and get Calipari back in that limelight. And more importantly, the more games we can watch with Darius Acuff Jr., the better we are as a basketball viewing public.
He's just so fun to watch.
Great.
I mean, it's like the game plan. Calipari's game plan is basically last 5 minutes of the game, Acuff has the ball, everyone clear out.
Let's get the ball in his
ISO
hands.
every single time. And it's not just scoring. He makes the right decision every time because I believe in the last game, I think he had 11 assists. So he's just a well-rounded player.
He is the good thing about him, too, is he's 6'3", which is just big enough. He's listed at 6'3". We'll see what his official measurements are. Just big enough. And he doesn't look super small on the court either. Just big enough to still be relevant in NBA. Small guards are getting they're obsolete at this point. Like, you can't be, a little guy running around thinking that you can play at a high level, go and compete for championships. Darius Acuff Jr. is just big enough for him to be a franchise-altering star in the NBA, and that's what I believe he will be. I have no other reason to believe against that. He's a John Calipari guard, and I'm excited to watch the rest of the Arkansas run this tournament. Let's just hope it's a long run.
Let's bring it back home because, unfortunately, Theo, we're both Miami Heat fans. We know this story all too well. Being stuck in the play in recent years has Bam Adebayo openly saying he wants to avoid that situation this year. Take a listen.
You see what I've been doing the last whatever amount of games, and I don't want to be a plan. So some of that is, he's got to protect me from myself, but also like I don't want to be a plan. So every game I'm gonna try to go out there and do the best I can to carry this team and force our way out of that.
Damian, is the trade deadline passed in the NBA?
I believe it has.
Okay. Is Bam Adebayo a member of the Miami Heat?
He definitely is.
He's going to be in that play-in. He's going to play. He's going to be in the – that is where the Miami Heat live these days. And it is frustrating as all get up for a guy like me who we just got done talking about Darius Acuff Jr. And when you hear Bam Adebayo saying that I'm trying to carry this team into the playoffs, a Bam Adebayo carried team is essentially a play-in team year over year. Those are the results you're going to get. This is not me discrediting what he can be. We saw the 83-point performance as well. The dude has a very high ceiling with certain things, but he's also a limited offensive player. And the Heat need a franchise-changing star like an Acuff, like a Darren Peterson. They need a guard they can go to in big moments, late in games, who also is not necessarily a defensive liability. They need a Shea, a Luka, a Cade Cunningham, an Anthony Edwards. Do you know where you get those guys? At the top of the lottery in the NBA draft.
A Giannis.
A Giannis even. I mean, they got him a little bit late, but still, lottery pick.
Kind of ironic. You said he's not an offensive scorer, yet he still dropped 83 points.
That's
the
what
wild
makes it
part.
special. That's what makes it special. And that, again, I am pro Bam dropping 83. Don't get me wrong. But I know that is not sustainable for the Miami Heat, and it's not going to get us into the playoffs.
And that shouldn't be his role.
It's not. It's not. They've dropped 5 straight. They're going to be in the play-in for the 4th straight year, I believe, and it is absolutely embarrassing as a Heat fan. The only thing I wish is that if they do land in the play-in again, they finally do what I've been saying they should have done each of the past 3 trips to the play-in, and that is lose and get to the lottery. Because if they did that last year, we'd be talking about Cooper Flagg and Bam Adebayo. And I'm not just saying that because I'm like, maybe cross your fingers. No, the Mavericks pick is the pick the Heat would have had they lost in the play-in. But they're so pesky in that tournament. We're done with the get around. No, we're done with the get around. I didn't want to. I got into a little bit of a bad mood thinking about the Heat right now. 5-game skid. I was on an all-time high when Bam dropped that 83.
That's coming off of, I think it was a 5-6 game win streak.
It was looking amazing at one point.
We thought we were finally going to be out of the play-in game, and then right back to what we're used to.
I mean, I can't be critical of Miami Dolphins fans and look at the current day Heat.
No, you can't compare it.
No. Here's what I'll say. Because the Miami Heat are the Pittsburgh Steelers of the NFL or the NBA.
Yeah.
That's the comp. But what I mean is the false hope, like within each season, I can compare the Heat to the Dolphins. Like the 2020
everything leading up
season. I guess the difference is they make the playoffs. But the Dolphins made a couple playoff runs.
And what makes it worse
with
is during the season, we get great rumors about players who want out, who have the Miami Heat as prime destinations for where they want to land. And it seems to just never happen.
We lost 136 to 111 to the Spurs last night. It was never close. They have a Victor Wembanyama. What pick was he in that draft, by the way? Wembanyama.
Definitely one.
Number 1. That's the difference right now. It's the difference. We don't have that guy on our roster, and we're going to keep being in the play-in and keep picking up Khalil Wares and Tyler Heroes and Bam Adebayos, which are really, really good, but they also could use a 1A star, and we don't have that right now. The happy hour is next. We bring in Tina. That is Damian Perez. I'm Theo Dorsey. I'm done complaining. We're theoretically speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com.
In 1977, Ford F-Series became the best-selling trucks in America. 33 million trucks later, we've kept that title every year since. And that's a formula we plan on repeating. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. The best-selling trucks in America for 49 years and counting. Based on 1977 to 2025 calendar year industry reported total sales.
College basketball is heating up and the tournament is here. Don't let your home get caught off guard. Get game ready now with EDS Air Conditioning. EDS Air Conditioning is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. Right now, qualified customers can get 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the court, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS has been the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSIsyes.com today.
The Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs with 6 locations. Perfect for an occasional wash. Or enjoy unlimited inside and out washes starting at just $49.95 a month. UnlimitedAutoWashClub.com. Call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. It is your boy Theo Dorsey. This is Theoretically Speaking. It is a top 5 Tuesday, and I'm joined here by Damian Perez and Tina Costanza. We have entered the happy hour. In the first hour, it was action-packed. Talked about the most feared teams in sports. UConn women's basketball, number 1 for me. We had Deontay Thompson in here, former Glade Central Raider, former Baltimore Raven, a Super Bowl champion with the Ravens, and also a national champion with the Florida Gators. Talking about how feared his speed was as a receiver at all 3 levels. And of course, we had to hit that get around, and I got on that sore subject of my Miami Heat, who are, I'm not giving up on this season, but I'm giving up on the dream of them not being a play-in team. They are currently sitting at, I believe, number 8 in the East. I've got to get what updated standings here in the Eastern Conference, which ain't that tough. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? thanks to the Spurs, down to 9. So if you're familiar with how the play-in works in the NBA, top 6 teams automatically in the playoffs, 7 and 8. They play home games in the play-in. 9 and 10 are on the road. That's where the Heat sit. They're a half game ahead of the Hornets. Like, what are we talking about?
You got to win 2. If you're in that 9th slot, you got to win the first game and then win the second one.
What are we doing? We're 1 game ahead of the Hornets. We're half game ahead of the Hornets, Tina. Why are we in this position, Tina? I'm sad. This is sick. This is sick.
It's not great. South Florida teams
It's rough.
aren't doing the greatest right now.
Florida Panthers.
I know. The Panthers are really upsetting me.
But
Miami, I feel like always gets in this spot, and then they surprise us, like the Heat.
Well, last year they did surprise me in the playoffs. It was absolutely shocking to see a team with the best coach in the NBA, one of the most versatile defenders in the league, and a prolific scorer like Tyler Hero, the Miami Heat, getting swept by the Cavaliers in historic fashion. Most lopsided playoff sweep in the history of the NBA last year to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That happened after they tooth and nail fought and clawed their way through the play-in, rolled over against the Cavaliers. So we'll see what happens, but they're in the 9 slot right now. They're likely going to be a play-in team. As much as they want to pound their chest to say that they aren't, that's what their record says, and we'll see how that shakes out. Tina, I need a little something to cheer me up in the happy hour. Do we have a cocktail of the day?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And this sounds delicious.
Talk to me.
It is the Underdog Upset. And you got a handful of ingredients. I think we're both going to really like this, Theo, because it has a lot of tequila in it.
Hey.
Tequila Blanco, mezcal, fresh lime juice, agave syrup, pineapple juice, chili bitters. One of my favorite things about this, a tahini rim, and a pineapple or lime wedge to garnish.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's unbeatable.
Yes. I love a tahini rim.
Tahini rims are great. I would go, when I rank the rims on my cocktails, number 1, sugar. I'm keeping it G.
No, never.
Keeping it G. I'm going to be honest with you. Number 1, sugar.
Or salt?
Tahini's number 2. Salt is a distant third. I don't want salt on my rim. Just keeping it G.
You
Damien?
like sugar more than salt?
Tastes better.
No.
I also don't order, I order more potent drinks too. So I don't need the salty rim to go with a little sugar, a little sweetener on the end. Damien, are you sugar on the rim?
I don't add anything.
Nothing.
No sugar, no salt on the rim. I don't really like either, so I don't want that to be the first thing I taste.
So what if they say, hey, sugar or salt, what do you say?
I'm good on both.
Wow.
One of our teammates,
guy's a dog,
who I go to get drinks with often, we always order margaritas, and she's always, mine's with salt, hers is without salt. Every time.
It's just no salt. She goes, no
just
bare rim?
Yeah.
I guess I could do that. I would put bare rim over salt.
What?
I don't want salt in my drinks. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I don't want salt in my drinks. I want salt on my French fries.
It's the first thing you taste when you put your lips around the rim of the glass.
It
not
just
enjoyable.
goes with the tequila.
So the tahini is better.
Yes, I do like tahini.
Because at least this is the thing. Salt is just a flavor amplifier almost. It's salt. Whereas tahini has a bit of a flavor to it.
Yes. This drink might be a little spicy for me. I do like a spicy marg here and there.
Yeah.
But with you could do a pinch of chili powder too instead of the bitters.
Hey now.
That might be a little spicy for me.
It's a little
but
much.
I'll try it. It sounds delicious.
It's a little much. The good people should try SLBT because they don't sound delicious, but they are absolutely helpful if you're in need of car trouble things.
And SLBT is never salty. They're
Never
always sweet.
Come on.
To their customers. St. Lucie, Battery and Tire, only place that I take my Sally the Sonata, whether it's for tires, whether it's for maintenance, or a battery, they've got you covered. Trust the experts there at SLBT. Don't try to figure it out yourself. St. Lucie, Battery and Tire, they've got locations in Palm Beach County, in the Treasure Coast. I know it's St. Lucie. Go to slbt.com to see the services that they provide or the closest location to you.
Get your car right with SLBT. Get your mind right if you're a Miami Heat fan. In the YouTube chat at ESPN South Florida, Luke comments, "Bro, we stink." It's just the reality of the situation. The Heat are not a good You know what? I'm not gonna say they're not a good basketball team right now.
Do we though? Do the Heat stink, or is that the problem? Is the problem
They're
that we
just good
don't
enough.
stink?
That's the issue, and that's what I'm getting to. The Miami Heat are not a bad basketball team. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers dilemma. It's your favorite team, Tina.
And I perked up when you.
Yeah,
said
you see
that.
that? Yeah. Elite head coach. There were people at the back end of it that started criticizing Mike Tomlin as if he was the issue, but he wasn't. He was a well-respected head coach. Elite level head coach in Eric Spoelstra. A roster that's just good enough to hover right around the line of making the playoffs or being a game out or so. And because of that, every single year you're not contending for a championship, but you're also not picking high enough in the draft to get the most essential thing to winning in your sport. In football, it's a starting quarterback. We had Duck Hodges, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett. The dudes the Steelers were trying out there was absolutely embarrassing at that position. Great roster around them, couldn't get the starting quarterback position down. The Miami Heat, in basketball, especially in the playoffs, when the game slows down and you need buckets late, and really throughout the game, you need a flat-out scorer. You need a guy that can be a fulcrum of the offense, a guy that can get you a bucket in a time of need at any point. And it's better if that guy's not a defensive liability and gets picked on the other side. The Heat haven't had that. They had it in Jimmy Butler. He still had a bit of a limited game, but him and Bam was a weird fit because neither one of them could really shoot the three. They were both reluctant shooters, so spacing was a little weird. But, there's no Luka, there's no Shea. I mean, even Wemby, Cade Cunningham, as I mentioned, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James in his prime, and even a little here and there. I mean, I would even take an Austin Reeves level score. The Heat haven't had that, and they're going to keep running into the same issue until they can pick near the top of the draft.
So I love and hate this comparison with the Steelers. I can understand it, though, with the Steelers.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a dumb question because I'm just thinking of the Steelers got rid of Mike Tomlin, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
No.
Is
Damien won't even let you ask.
I know.
Do you know where I'm going?
Yes, I know exactly where you're going. No shot.
It's not to a point of getting rid of Coach Spo.
Right. Well, to clarify
Right?
too, Mike Tomlin left the Steelers.
Okay,
The
yeah,
Steelers never,
yeah.
But it got weird. It was weird.
It's one of
around
those mutual
Pittsburgh.
agreements.
Yeah, but it was no. I will say, at least the reports around it, and I'm not in the building, around it. I'd have to ask somebody to clarify. What I remember from that was Mike Tomlin chose to leave. He did choose. The Steelers would have welcomed him back. From what I've heard about it, Mike Tomlin chose to leave. It was to that point. It was time. I don't think it's anywhere near time for Eric Spoelstra.
Same. That's what I was thinking, but I just needed to ask.
Yeah.
Because I just immediately think of the Steelers. I'm like, well, what did they just do?
But do they look any better right now?
No.
I mean, Mike McCarthy and
No.
And really right now you ain't got no quarterback because you're waiting. You're waiting on Aaron Rodgers.
I know.
You're waiting on him to. That is, I ain't gonna lie. And I respect the Steelers organization. The Rooneys are some of the best, team owners in sports. But it feels, not enough people are really talking about this. It feels absolutely pitiful to see that team on its hands and knees waiting on Aaron Rodgers at this stage in his career. That's weird to me. That's some Jet stuff. I should be, that is, if they were doing that in East, and I guess they did, they literally did before the Steelers did. But the fact that they, for the second straight offseason, seem to be just like, all right, Aaron, whatever you want.
And what makes it even scarier is that they brought in Mike McCarthy. If we remember the way that relationship ended between Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, it wasn't the best ending. Apparently they squashed whatever beef they had, but makes you wonder, does Aaron Rodgers even want to come back and play for Mike McCarthy?
I will never again, ever try to predict anything when it comes to decision-making in Aaron Rodgers. I'm out. I don't want to predict if he's coming back to play football. I don't want to predict if he's coming back as a married man, despite us never seeing his wife or significant other, whatever you want to say. I don't want to predict whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to win football games, lose them, get injured, stay healthy, welcome in old receivers, and then deliver absolute nothing with them. I don't care to. He's an enigma. He has his documentary. He's enjoying his life. I live and let live with Aaron Rodgers going forward. I will do 31 team totals next year in the NFL if Aaron Rodgers come back and plays for the Steelers. I ain't touching. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want anything I don't want to predict anything with the dude. The dude is just different in ways in which, especially at this point in his career, I don't understand why the Steelers are putting up with, but clearly there's something that he provides that they need. So we'll see how that pans out. I'm sorry, Tina.
Yeah.
As a Steelers fan, y'all were once proud. The Steel Curtain. Not
anymore.
It's just a little weird out there now.
Very weird.
So, but I can say the same thing for the Miami Heat right now. In the YouTube chat, Chris says Tyler Hero was supposed to be that guy, never took that jump. Let's never forget Tyler Hero. He was the guy that we refused to trade at multiple points for guys that could have been that guy because of what we thought he can grow into. And I like Tyler Hero as a person and as a player. Just like I said about other guys on this Heat roster and how it's been over the past decade, limited. They've been limited. He's a limited player. I think isn't his Instagram like No Limit Hero?
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
Yikes. Sorry about that.
He would be a good two guard. I think the problem with Tyler Hero is that we're lacking a point guard. We really don't have a point guard in the Miami Heat.
That's what
someone that controls the tempo.
So all right, so Tyler,
if he's not creating for himself, if Tyler is not creating for himself, that's basically the only shots he gets.
And Tyler is a good two guard, but we saw him in that spot last year in the play. Do you want me to bring up his box scores against the Cavaliers last year? And again, I'm pro Tyler Hero. I don't want this to seem like a negative thing. But Tyler Hero had his chance to show us he can be that guy with the ball in his hands in the playoffs last year against those Cavaliers.
But that's my point. I don't think he can be the guy with the ball at his hands. I think he's that scorer off the ball.
Even if he was off the ball. We got a point guard right now, Davion Mitchell. We got some guys. I don't know, man. I'm out on it. The other issue with Tyler Hero, though, is
Aaron Fox would have been great.
Yeah, I know. That would have been perfect. The other issue with Tyler Hero, though, is if you're going to be, you can't have that many, again, limits. He's a limited player, really good player, good-hearted, means well, all of the good stuff. Woo, rah-rah. But, woo, yeah, let's go Heat. But Tyler Hero is limited. Like you said, not a good enough playmaker. So, small in stature, not a good enough playmaker, also a negative defender. I can't, in good faith, tell you that that's a guy that you should be withholding from trade talks, hoping that he grows into something greater. So, and that's just me talking as a Heat fan. I'm venting right now. I don't want to sound overly critical, still supporting the Heat, still want them to do well, but I would prefer this year if instead of playing in the play-in, we were in the lottery. We were actually drafting in the top of what is supposed to be a historic NBA draft. I don't want to sit through another play-in tournament where the Heat are proving they can beat the Hawks in an elimination game or the Bulls. I bet you. Let me look at the play-on right quick. We're going to go to the phone lines. The Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. I understand we have some people wanting to call in and talk right now. Let me just go to the NBA standings and see if I'm correct about who's back in the play-in again, guys.
I got it for you if you want me to read it off.
Feels like home to me. Yeah, read off the play-in teams right now.
We got Philly at 7, Orlando at 8, Miami at 9, and Charlotte at 10.
Oh, the Bulls aren't in it this year.
They are two slots
12.
away, so 12.
It is becoming the Miami Heat Invitational. They're going to rename the play-in after the Heat. If they keep on making it and winning it, I'm serious. It's ridiculous. So I feel the same frustrations as Bam Adebayo does, but I can do less about it than he can. And he's trying everything he can as well, but he's, again, a limited star. He's limited. 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. That is the Baptist Health Hotline. Paul is in Jupiter, and Paul is joining right now because he wants to talk about your Steelers, Tina. I'm sorry about that. Paul, what you got on Tomlin and Rodgers?
Well, I know the genesis of this conversation was about the Heat, but I do have a question for you, Theo. Without saying the words, never had a losing season, what makes Tomlin an elite coach?
I mean, I can't gauge what Mike Tomlin means to the Pittsburgh Steelers because clearly he's not the guy that's calling the defensive or offensive plays left and right. But being a CEO and managing the egos in those locker rooms, including the Antonio Browns and the Ben Roethlisbergers of the world and the Le'Veon Bells of the world, it does seem like at the very least he is a prominent leader and a guy that set a culture in Pittsburgh that at least established like a median for success. I will say the biggest criticism I've always had of Mike Tomlin is he has had poor decision-making when it comes to picking out who's going to be the quarterback for his team since Ben Roethlisberger left.
Absolutely. Now, this next question is for Christina. Tina, you're a workout fanatic, correct?
Correct.
If you work out every day and do the same exact workout every day, what happens to your body?
You're not going to
Do you
have
gain or do you plateau?
you plateau.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on with Tomlin and the Steelers. Now, I know, again, the conversation was centered around the Heat.
That's what, well, Paul, now you're scaring me even more because if you want to talk about a plateau, look at the Heat the last 3 years.
Yeah, but that's the thing. See, I can't put as much blame on Spoelstra because in basketball, that's more of a talent-driven sport. And, I mean, not that it isn't in football. Obviously, you need talent. But schematics that coach calls in football plays a much bigger role than it does in basketball.
Paul, I'll ask you this, though.
Spoelstra's less to blame than Tomlin.
I'll ask you this, though. With Mike Tomlin, name me a head coach in the National Football League that could have won playoff games since 2016 with the quarterbacks that roster has.
Good question, but here, let me answer your question with a question. If you're a coach that's been part of that organization for 20 years, do you think that coach has no say in who the quarterback's going to be?
And that's what
Who's going to be picked as quarterback?
That's what neither you or I can actually call, and that's why I hesitate to criticize Tomlin or whoever the decision maker is on that, because I've been most critical of that. But Paul, you raise a really good point, and I appreciate your call. I'll stick with it right there. I appreciate your call there, Paul. That actually is essentially the biggest reason why I feel like the Steelers are going to benefit from parting ways with Mike Tomlin or him leaving them is what Paul brings up right there. Quarterback selection might be the number one, catalyst for success in the NFL. Like, who you have at that position it clearly means so much.
It's the foundation.
The foundation of what you're able to do. Those Steelers rosters are elite. They've been great. They have all these good players. The defense has always been good. The offensive weapons have been really, really good year over year. But if you can't get quarterback right, you're not going to win playoff games. So look at Kevin O'Connell last year. Even he was winning above the margins with guys that we didn't think to be that good. Kirk Cousins, 14 wins. Sam Darnold, 14 wins. J.J. McCarthy, ooh. There's a limit to what you can do if you don't have the right quarterback. And the Steelers, this is what I'll say. Whoever the hell was in charge of selecting the QBs for the Pittsburgh Steelers over the past 8 years, they needed to go. If it was Tomlin, see you later. I don't know. And again, per the reports, he walked away. They didn't fire him. So, the Baltimore Ravens fired John Harbaugh or parted ways with him. That was their decision because he wouldn't change his coaching staff. They kind of gave him an ultimatum.
And that honestly dates back to Ben Roethlisberger. If you list off all the quarterbacks, Pittsburgh, yeah, that's a good point. They held on too long. Maybe they should have got rid of him a year or two before to kind of get a head start on that rebuild. But, I mean, if you list off all the quarterbacks that the Pittsburgh Steelers have had post-Ben Roethlisberger era, I mean, there's probably one at most actual starter in the NFL.
It's ugly. Mason Rudolph, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and then you have a 2021 version of Ben Roethlisberger. I would say right about 2017 or so that thing was over with. He's maybe 2018. Maybe I'm being a little harsh. But the last 3 or some odd years of Ben Roethlisberger as a statue were hard to sit through. Not for me, because I enjoy watching the Steelers lose from time to time because, I'm not a Steelers fan, but Tina, for you. Sorry about that. Sorry they put you through that.
They had Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. I mean, something to build around.
Antonio Holmes, Glade Central Raiders, big shout back in the day. But yeah, the Steelers, the Heat are so you know what, Tina, we sit in the same seat right now. My Heat, your Steelers, similar boat, but we ain't getting rid of Spo. He ain't going nowhere.
No.
Longest tenure coach in the NBA right now, I think 18 years. And since Pop retired, he became the longest tenured, and
he's been part of the organization even longer.
Yeah.
As a video coordinator, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Heat lifer. We not getting rid of Spo, but you and Paul got me like, we are plateauing. It ain't Spo. We gotta get a star. I will tell you this though. It is easy in the NBA these days to stop the Heat. I mean, we saw what the Spurs were able to do last night. What was that final again? It was like a 25-point loss. I cut it off. Heat Spurs 136-111 at the crib, by the way, at the Kaseya Center.
30-point loss.
I mean, I was over here clowning Syracuse women's basketball, but I'm surprised Bernie wasn't getting bounced like a ball like what UConn did to their mascot. It's ugly. But beating the Heat in South Florida is a much different task when we're not talking about doing it on the hardwood, when we're talking about doing it with the actual air, the environment. It gets scorching hot. It has been heating up over time out here, and EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing can help you out with that because that heat might affect you once you step out the door, but when you step inside your home, you should feel comfort. You should feel safe. You should feel chill. EDSisyes.com. EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing. This is their 20th year servicing this area. And the great thing about that is, I mean, when I think back as a Heat fan 20 years ago, what would that put us? 2006? Good times. Sunny days. That's when EDS also came into the ether here, when Wade and Shaq was cutting the nets down. But more importantly, EDS is right now offering customers who would like to get their AC units revamped. Now, for qualified customers, 60 months, interest-free. 60 months for qualified customers. And you can find that if you're qualified or not at EDSisyes.com. The good people have been servicing this area. They are over 750 reviews on Google, 4.8 star rating. They are tried and true. And they can work for you at EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing. It's everyday savings. EDS is yes. EDSisyes.com. Tina, I was curious about this. There was a show I kind of slightly, I wouldn't say grew up on, but I was very aware of as a kid. And I saw it's going to be a 20th anniversary of this show, and it's some kind of reunion going on tonight. And it piqued my interest. You mentioned it earlier, and it piqued my interest. I want to poke your brain about whether or not you're going to be actually tuned into this thing tonight. We're going to talk about that on the other side, though, because again, not saying this was my jam or anything, but it was like on in the background, and I was getting I'll be watching sports on my phone, and then it was on in the background. Let's just say I was getting the best of both worlds. That is Damian Perez. That is Tina. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Welcome into the Kaiser Sports Update. I'm Kate Chumsland. Seahawks spring sports are crossing their halfway points on the season, so let's do a debrief. The Kaiser baseball team just finished a 3-1 series win over Ave Maria. They are currently 22 in the country with a 22-7 record. The softball team is riding a 17-game win streak. Number 1 in the conference, number 11 in the country, 28-2 on the year. Both lacrosse teams continue to see success. The number 2 ranked men's team is an undefeated 5-0, having just had a statement win against number 6 SCAD Savannah. The number 6 ranked women's team is battling through their brutal early schedule with a 5-2 record, highlighted by their win against number 10 Lawrence Tech. And finally, the Seahawks tennis teams. The number 3 men's team is 7-1, most recently defeating number 4 Southeastern University, while the number 1 ranked women's team is 9-1. For times and tickets on all of Kaiser University's athletic events, head to KUSeahawks.com.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in, we begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
If you want to get stronger, fitter, and healthier, and you want the accountability that actually works, try F45 West Palm Beach. Every workout is just 45 minutes, but the impact lasts all week. That's better energy, better confidence, and better overall performance. Whether you're brand new to fitness or chasing your next personal record, F45 West Palm Beach has you covered. Follow us on Instagram at F45 West Palm Beach for all the studio updates, specials, and deals. It's F45, team training, life-changing.
Minor League Baseball is in full swing at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium as the Palm Beach Cardinals take the field on opening weekend, Thursday, April 2nd through Saturday, April 4th. Opening night features a Hawaiian shirt giveaway to the first 500 fans, and Saturday, April 4th, is the debut of the Palm Beach Frozen Iguanas, minor league baseball's coldest alternate identity, presented by Iggy Trap. To purchase tickets and find out more information, go to RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com.
Time now for the Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. Every Player of the Week is eligible to win a scholarship at the end of the year. This year, a $20,000 scholarship will be awarded to an athlete, with $5,000 going to the winner's high school athletic department. Land Rover Palm Beach, above and beyond. Here's Cade Chumslin.
Our Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week is Jupiter Warriors ace baseball pitcher Ethan Trivison, who last Wednesday threw 13 strikeouts in his shutout win against Boca Raton. Here he is on what it's going to take for the Warriors to get back to the state championship.
We say we have unfinished business. That's actually the name of our group chat, is unfinished business, because that's our goal. We know we have the talent. We know once we get back there that I feel like we can get that job done. So it's just something that stays on our mind. It's something we just always talk about.
Congratulations, Ethan, on being selected this week's Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week.
Experience the magic of the tournament in Augusta at the Trust Bridge Tee-Off, an immersive watch party and high-tech golf experience at the SoFi TGL Center. On April 11th, step into the action and watch every drive and putt on massive broadcast screens while competing in interactive TGL challenges. For a limited time, buy one ticket and get one free. Enjoy themed dining, explore vendor row, and support the Trust Bridge Hospice Foundation in providing compassionate care. Get the best seats outside Augusta. Visit trustbridge.com.
My leg! I am not angry. I am in pain. My leg!
Time now for an injury report.
My head and torso! Wow, that's crazy. They hit me everywhere except my legs!
Presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
He had missed 26 of the last 28 games for the Oklahoma City Thunder, but his right hamstring strain no longer an issue. Jalen Williams returned to action last night in a 123-103 victory over the 76ers. The Oklahoma City Thunder have won 12 straight. He had 18 points, 4 boards, and 6 assists. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's running mate, his number 2, is back in action for the push for the playoffs as the Thunder look to do the same thing that the Celtics are doing, and that is play a guy that they're going to need come April, May, June, ramp them up ahead of the playoffs starting, and have them fully ready. Jason Tatum came back about 8 games ago for Boston. Jalen Williams back for the Thunder, and most of the teams that you would consider contenders in the NBA right now starting to look healthier and healthier. That is your Baptist Health Orthopedic Care injury report. Jalen Williams back, and he's looking good for those Thunder. Remember, Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, man, I mean, you could be back soon as well. If you are in a pinch right now, if you've got a bit of issues with your body, you got soreness, you got pain, you got aches, well, you got Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. That's the solution. Welcome to being treated like a pro, and welcome to pro-level orthopedic care at Baptist Health. If an injury is keeping you from what you love, our expert team is here to get you back in the game, back active, back ready to rock. We're talking about a team of people that are used to dealing with pros, and they're going to treat you just like them. Maybe inside your own house, you feel like a pro when you're winning at billiards. You go outside, you're playing a little pickleball, a little tennis, and you're gaming people up. But you feel like a pro in the worst way when you wake up the next morning and you're sore and you have issues with your body that you are not attending to. That's where Baptist Health Orthopedic Care comes in. They can get you right because everyone deserves pro-level care. So visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more. That's baptisthealth.net/ortho. Welcome to being treated like a pro. It is the happy hour. It is theoretically speaking. Damian Perez is in on the other side of the glass on the 1s and 2s. Tina Costanza, Espresso Mar-Tina, is in the house as well for the happy hour. And what was our cocktail of the day again? It was a upset dog or underdog.
The underdog upset.
Underdog upset cocktail of the day. It is a Tuesday night. Will you be enjoying an underdog upset as you watch the 20-year anniversary of Hannah Montana? It's like, what is this? Are we that old?
We are that old,
crazy.
which is crazy. I will not be enjoying an underdog upset. Maybe a glass of wine.
Okay.
While I watch this, but yeah, I grew up watching Hannah Montana, and I still listen to her music. It's great. And today they released a 20th anniversary special of Hannah Montana with Miley Cyrus, and I'll be watching it with one of our teammates, one of my besties tonight. So I'm excited.
Damian, did you watch were you a Hannah Montana guy?
Of course.
A little Disney Channel action.
Great show.
Yeah. It was entertaining. Here's the thing.
She's actually a really good actor.
Really good actor. I mean, a lot of those Disney kids are just very, they're very talented. Yeah, they do so multifaceted.
She played two characters for what it's worth.
Two.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy style. You know what I'm saying? I guess Michael B. Jordan just got an Oscar, an Academy Award for that.
He also played two characters. He played a twin.
Yeah. That was kind of what she was doing. Now, interestingly enough, was she really playing two characters, or was she kind of like
an alter
Clark
ego?
Kent?
It was like an alter ego in a
She's living
way.
two different lives.
Right, because it wasn't like would you consider somebody that plays Superman playing two different characters? Because you're Clark Kent, you're Superman.
Yes, because it's two completely different personalities, I would say.
Huh.
She's a pop star.
You have to flip the switch,
and
I feel
then
like.
she's a regular just teenager.
I don't know, though. But all right, so Michael B. Jordan was literally on the screen at the same time, acting out different things, different personalities, literally different dudes. She was the same person.
Well, she was Miley Cyrus, who was a high school girl, town high school girl. And then she was Hannah Montana, which was like A-list celebrity in the show.
Same girl.
But I think it's like Superman, like it's hiding the fact of like, this is who I am.
Okay.
And again, as Superman, you're a superhero. In Hannah Montana, she's a pop star and she has to lie to her best friends. And like her best friends are going to her concerts and sneaking in her dressing room.
Yes.
And she has
Hide.
her wig off and she has to hide.
There was a wig.
Yeah, like so it was two totally different just life.
All right,
styles.
here's the thing, though. I watched the scene in Nutty Professor where Eddie Murphy was like 10 dudes at once and a woman. And they were just yelling back and forth at each other. Like, that's different character.
Well, you also have Split. I don't remember the actor's name, but it was the schizophrenic guy who had like, I don't know how many different multiple personalities. I think it was like 5, but they were all very different.
Did you watch Severance? Any Severance watchers? You did? Are we crediting them for playing two different characters, their work self and their life self? Because in Severance, you walk into work, you go into the elevator.
Well, that's the same character. Different reality, but same character.
That's Hannah Montana.
She was a different identity. She was a completely different identity, though.
Those dudes were different identities when they went to work. They talked a little different, walked a little different.
Like Spider-Man. You got Peter Parker and you got Spider-Man. Similar to Batman, but...
Those aren't two different characters. I'm going to go out on a
that
limb
one
and
I'll
say
agree
this.
with you. That one I will agree with you. Spider-Man, I wouldn't say it's two different characters.
Why can't superheroes just be themselves?
Because then people would I think they'll be vulnerable.
And they're not considered superheroes. They're considered, what's the word I'm looking for?
Mutants.
No, not mutants.
Heroes? Regular
When
heroes?
you're not a hero or a villain.
You are a martyr. That's when you die.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's when you die. What are you when you're a superhero? They are, because you're saying they're not like actual superheroes. They're putting on costumes.
Right, like we know they're superheroes because we're watching the movies, but Spider-Man was like, he was villainized by the mayor.
Right. Yeah. That happens in all of those movies where they're like, hey, man, stop damaging the city. All he did was steal $20 from the guy. Like, you didn't have to throw him into a light pole and cause this 8-car pileup.
That's true.
So sometimes, same thing with, what was the Will Smith movie, Hancock? Where it was like little minor inconveniences. He was like putting dents in the road. And they were like, hey, buddy, I know you think you're doing a good thing here. Costing us a lot of money. All I'm saying, I'm going out on a limb. I did appreciate, I'll go as far as saying I appreciated Hannah Montana growing up. It was an iconic show. It was always background. It wasn't like I was sitting in front of the TV with Fruit Loops watching the dang show. It's not what I'm saying. Like, that wasn't my reality. I was watching SportsCenter, but sometimes, I would picture in picture.
Who had it on?
That's the weird thing about how TVs used to work. You're younger. No. So yeah, it was a good show. It's 20th anniversary. It was a good show. I was a kid. I watched a little Hannah Montana. I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah.
But what I will say is she wasn't playing two different characters. One character. One character who was doing two different things within the show. I'm leaving it at that. Michael B. Jordan played two different characters.
I didn't watch. This is Sinners, right?
Sinners, yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Two different dudes.
I think it's the hardest part in Hannah Montana, just like hiding it from her closest people. And like just not slipping up when they're talking about Hannah Montana and they're talking about
Yeah, but
like
it's
it
the
in front of her.
actresses, though. It's the actresses doing that, though. You know, like, I agree. You know what? I'll watch a little bit of the reunion. I'll see what she has to say about it. I think Billy Ray's on that as well, so that'll be fun tonight. That's a little something to watch when you're not tapping in. And Brian said that's the word right there, vigilante.
Vigilantes. That's the word I was looking for. Yep. That's Spider-Man. That's Batman. Probably Superman too.
Nothing worse than a vigilante. Nothing worse than a vigilante that's getting in the way of things in real life when you had to do it. I never forget one time I was rolling in the car with C-Cat and we were on the highway. People were like zooming through the feeder. You know how when traffic is backed up, people zoom through the feeder on the right side.
Yes.
On the shoulder, excuse me.
Can't do that.
And you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm in the passenger seat. C-Cat was in the driver's seat. C-Cat decides after 1, 2, or 3 cars going through and doing that, he's going to pull our car, turn it into the shoulder, blocking people from doing it. Well, guess who's exposed now? Mr. Vigilante himself in the driver's seat as we turn a little bit to the right to block off the shoulder. Now somebody decides to zoom up and smash into our car. Guess who's dying?
You.
He put me in harm's way to be a vigilante. That's why I can't stand the guy. Can't be a hero. By the way, C-Cat vigilante at TGL a few weeks back because he put Tiger Woods, the GOAT, into a predicament to where he had to answer a question. We know now today if Tiger's coming back or not, but let's not forget where all of this started. C-Cat pushed the buttons. Take a listen to 2 weeks ago when he asked Tiger Woods at TGL whether or not he'd be lacing him up for the final.
Tiger, you got 2 weeks until the semifinals. Are you on the table to play?
I'm looking forward to it.
To playing or
thinking about it? Well, I'll be here either way.
He dodged that one.
Get him, Tom. I got to learn.
Final question.
Tiger, you got 2 weeks.
C-Cat might be gone, but ain't no bobbing and weaving no more. Tiger had to come out with the news, breaking news that we learned last night, and he'll be playing tonight at TGL for the Jupiter Lynx. And after we saw Tiger answer it that way, we kind of had it here first on Theoretically Speaking. We knew what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And he even pressed him. You know, like he could have kind of left it where it was, but he was like, "So, are you playing?"
Yes. He might have. Do you think C-Cat kind of nudged Tiger into doing this?
No.
I'm saying, like Tiger might not be playing tonight at TGL if not for the nudging or the follow-up question there from the Cat at a presser 2 weeks ago at TGL. I'll be in the building for that one. And I will say, as we're talking about one person playing multiple characters, Chris in the YouTube chat, another good addition here, Tyler Perry. He literally, with Medea and all of that, he would literally play multiple characters as well. Now, yeah, those are multiple characters, different people. That's all I'm saying. In the show,
people have done it.
In the show Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana were the same person, and they were hiding it. She was hiding it from the people in the show.
We knew they were the same person, but
no one else knew.
In the show, she was two different characters, two different people.
Yeah, but if we as the audience, so like, all right, in real life, if we watch Sinners, Smoke and whatever the other dude's name was in Sinners, Michael B. Jordan, we knew that they were both two different characters, and they in the show knew they were two different characters because they were two different dudes. In Hannah Montana, it was one girl.
Why did they do that in Sinners?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Coogler, Ryan Coogler there, the director. I think it was just I would love. That's a good question. I think it's hired another dude.
I think it's just part. I think it's just part of the script, and they probably wanted Michael B. Jordan to play that role. I mean, he did a great job. Yeah. A lot of people were saying Timothy Chalamet got snubbed, but I don't know if I can agree. I mean, he played two characters and he did it perfectly.
He was amazing. It was the dramatics of it all. Like he's a great actor, and he deserved that Academy Award. I will say, I think Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan work together all the time, so I think he just was, also, are there any famous twins anymore? Like, what happened to the little twins from Disney Channel? Are they still doing stuff?
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Yeah.
Oh, Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
Are there any twin actors these days? Like, I think the script required twins. So.
Miley Cyrus dated Dylan, by the way. I learned that in a spoiler today from her anniversary special.
Wow. Well, we'll be on the lookout tonight then to see more spoilers. Hannah Montana, 20 years. Wow, so she's 06 as well. Miami Heat, EDS, and Hannah Montana. 20 years. Impeccable. Tonight is season 2 of TGL, and it is the playoffs at the SoFi Center. So you're not going to want to miss this, right? The playoffs are presented by SoFi, and it is the Jupiter Lynx versus the LA Golf Club. Jupiter is down 1-0 to my favorite team, the LA Golf Club. Shout out to Heath. Boys is balling. Fleetwood, you had me a little nervous. But what I will say is when the shot clock's hammer drops and timeouts are rolling, it's bigger and better at TGL. Playoff tickets are on sale. They're available. They are limited. TGLgolf.com. I'll be there tonight at the SoFi Center. Game 2 is at 7. Game 3, if necessary, will be at 9. So pull up, take a seat, and watch the greatest do it right in front of your eyes. TGL Golf, man. It is tomorrow's golf league for a reason. It's the best on the course. TGL is presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Go to break here. On the other side, though, sorry about that. That was on me. I'm over here punching all kind of buttons and whatnot. On the other side, we continue theoretically speaking, and I no longer have a bone to pick with the Miami Heat, but I have a question for those Miami Hurricanes. That is Damian Perez. That is Tina Costanza. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're theoretically speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Whether it's a clutch touchdown pass, a game-winning dunk, or an impressive dash to the finish, we want to highlight the best performance of the week. The winning performance will receive $500 courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Catch the biggest moments and winners all season long on ESPN 106.3 and ESPN West Palm Play. Nominate them today by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Welcome to being treated like a pro.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith Ball, Baez & Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur, and most certainly never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball, Baez & Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball, Baez & Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices, Palm Beach Gardens, Boca.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Monday was the pro day. Today, the first practice of the spring for the Miami Hurricanes. And I got one question for them, Canes. How you going to act with that target on your back? Last year was a bit easier. Last year you played a little bit less with less pressure. You know, it felt like a team that was earning it week in and week out, but definitively people did not believe until it was time to believe, and probably didn't really start thinking that this team had a real shot until the Ohio State went in the playoffs. How you going to act with that target on your back? My guy Deontay Thompson, who we talked to in the first hour, former Florida Gator, Super Bowl champion with the Ravens, he feels like they still susceptible. I want to see how they prove people wrong, so I'll be tapped in to see how that spring practice went. We got to get out there for the spring for those Canes because I am intrigued with how they look now that there is a expectation that they win not only the ACC, but multiple games in the college football playoffs. Last year I was at ACC kickoff in the summer. Everybody, including, not even me, I voted for Miami to win the conference, but most everybody in there was saying Clemson would take the thing, and Miami rose from the ashes. No longer can you go through the shadows there. You got to go right through the front door. Speaking of, when I came into the office today, I went through the front door and I heard one of the worst takes I've heard in quite some time, and it's time to address it.
Does Jim in accounting watch one game a year and think he can be an NBA GM?
You don't trade a guy like Dame unless you actually know ball, which I do.
Is Mark in the mailroom talking your ear off about what's wrong with football today?
Give me that budget and I'll have this roster fixed by Friday. Guaranteed.
Does Ted in sales go on and on about how he would manage the bullpen?
Complete games used to mean something. I don't know what this is anymore.
Time to shoot the casuals down. This is Water Cooler Talk, presented by Culligan. Schedule your free water test today at Culligan.com.
You know, the Boston Celtics have had their finals MVP all year long. I don't know what all the hoopla is about the 2 seed currently in the East. But I'm over here, and I'm stumbling through the door here to get things going today. Bump into Sarah in logistics. Sarah in logistics, who is going on and on here in the break room, telling people about how the Celtics are better without Jason Tatum. Tatum, who came back 8 games ago for the Boston Celtics, returned from that 10-month-long recovery from that Achilles tear. And it's not that they've been bad. They're 6-2 in this stretch, but he hasn't been fully himself. They just dropped a game. I get it. Sometimes you overreact. They just dropped the game against the Timberwolves, who can be had. Tatum was what, 6 for 16 in that one, 2 for 7 from deep, 16 points. That's not a Tatum game. It's not what you expect. But definitively, I am not sure why we keep putting the expectations of the legendary guys like the KDs of the world that come back and seem to never lose a step on others. And I'm not saying that to ridicule Jason Tatum. I always slight the Boston Celtics, but Sarah pumped the brakes. Being up for the playoffs. He has, I think, in these 8 games, averaged a little bit under 20 points. That'll go up. He'll get into shape. He'll round into form. And he'll shut up people like Sarah. But he won't shut me up, because where there is Celtic success, there is going to be hate from Theo. It goes hand in hand. Sarah, I appreciate you trying to belittle the Celtics, but leave that to me. Let me do my job. A little Culligan water cooler talk right there. Guys, have y'all ever had, I've had multiple times, Damian, Tina in here on Theoretically Speaking, I've had multiple times where I have been nervous that I felt a little pull in the back, and I've been nervous that I might have popped my Achilles. Have y'all either ever popped your Achilles or ever felt anything back there?
Probably my worst fear, to be honest.
To me, I thought I am so afraid of that.
Yeah.
And every time I see a player do it, or every time I hear players talk about it afterwards and how they say they barely even felt it and then they just couldn't, then it became painful.
There's the ones that say they didn't feel it, and then there's the ones that feel like they got kicked. They got kicked back in the leg. They look back thinking someone kicked them.
And both an Achilles tear and a ACL are two of my biggest fears, and that's why I don't hoop no more. I'll just play golf.
There was a lot of ACL tears growing up playing flag football. A few of my friends it happened to, and I was very scared that would happen to me.
It's just the worst. And then the recovery is so long. It's not even just the injury itself, it's the recovery.
And it's something you can honestly tear your Achilles walking up the stairs. It's the scariest thing.
Yes, don't say that.
Knock on wood.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's been multiple times, like a misstep on some stairs or anything, and I'll be like, what was that? What was that? Good to date. We'll see how that continues for your boy. Miami Heat, please make me happier in the future. Russo and Rizzo is next. Go in love, go in peace, go in joy.
shit her pants, right? You have to submit it, I think, right? Why is she farting in the middle of it? And I'm telling you, she was unfazed. Not in facial, nothing.
That is so bad.
I don't know. Your honest opinion.
No,
Did she shit her pants?
I think so.
She
I
shit
don't know
herself?
what else that could be. It doesn't even sound
Unless somebody was moving like a chair in her
that's what I was
apartment.
thinking, but like, the second one was like.
It sounds like that fart sounds so funny it's
or, like,
fake.
Someone was, yeah.
It sounds so funny it's fake. You know what I mean? It sounds like a whoopee cushion.
Yeah.
You know what a whoopee cushion is?
Yes.
Or is that a 90s kid?
No, I know what that is.
Alright.